Um, Now we're back to the painting, which is good fun. I'm intending to concentrate on this area here this time. We've done a bit of work on the bridge. It still needs a bit more. I was hoping to do some in between times, but I'm afraid the garden rather got in the way. So um, the extra work didn't get done. However, I can, in fact, go straight into this area here, which will be useful, I hope. Right, acrylic. I've wet the brush so that when the acrylic paint goes on, it's not going onto a dry brush. It does help if you do that. And I'm going to work my way in by working on this part of the bridge here so that I can sort of get used to painting again. Okay, so this area here is actually quite dark and quite red. So I'm going to see what effect this, that I think is too dark. I'm going to pull some of the light into it. That's better. That's a bit more like what it should be, I think. Maybe a touch of yellow in there. Perhaps. Better difference, but I think it helps, especially as we've got the yellow here, so that you can. You've got a problem, Rachel. Right, I don't think. Right. So we'll take this color across. I think I want a bit more red over here. So added a bit more red to it. This is the area of the bridge that was used to support the gatehouse when we had a gatehouse on this side of the bridge. And that, of course, comes down here. Just a bit of bad drawing, but nothing too drastic. Can't be put right with a bit of acrylic paint in the right place. This comes down here and at an angle there. I think I could do with a bit more brown in that. It's got a bit more alizarin. Just got a little bit yellow there. Again, using those little strokes. Not to represent the bricks and stones quite so much, more to just break up the surface so that it's just a little bit more bless you. Yes, interesting. Thank you. Sorry, I do forget when I'm painting what I've just said, and then it goes rather strange. Okay, so now when we come here, the color is much darker because it's in effect mirroring this. I think that actually does need to go darker, but I'm not going to get distracted by wandering over there. I'm going to see what I can do with this. I think that is a little bit dark. It's more dark up there, so. And there is a dark area here. Um, so it might be a bit light, but we'll see how we get on. Cut back the red here. And this color can go on here because it's quite a neutral color coming down here. And just here there are a series of with quite a dark bit underneath there. Dark, dark. A bit of blue. A bit more blue. Get it dark. There's a dark bit there. Right. There's a dark bit here. Worry about that later. And this, of course, is far too light. When I attended to that on the other one, I used quite a bit of yellow in the mix, cadmium yellow in this case, because I wanted to suggest the sunlight catching it. And indeed, the sunlight catches this well. I think that's a bit dark. We'll add a bit of white to that. I did say a bit. See what happens with that. Right, okay, go back to the light. I don't think that's really light enough to suggest the sunshine. So I picked up some neat white and work. I'm sure this is going to work with acrylic. It works with oils, of course, because the oils stay wet for longer. When you're painting acrylic thin, it dries very fast and can be a bit embarrassing at times. Okay, so we'll take it at that. Right, now let's look at these brushes and see what we can do to create the sort of effect we want. Now they're much lighter, brighter than the colors behind. So to get a bright color, you mix two cool colors together. And I didn't put out the lemon. Oof. Cool colors, cerulean blue and lemon are cool colors. And when you mix them together, you get a really bright shade of green. Like that. It's not too bright actually. Right, now, I think that is a little bit too acid. So I'm going to show the brush the red. See if we can just kill it a little bit. Right. And then I'm going to add some more yellow to lighten it a bit. See what that does. Because here, it's in quite strong contrast. I think we could do with a bit of white in it. I'll add the white. When I'm making a green, I try to get the green as light as I can using yellow. And if yellow fails me, I will then add white to the mix. If you try to lighten a yellow, try to lighten a green just with white first, it goes very dead. And that is no help. Now, which way? The light is coming this way. So we've got that there. This is a large light area here. And the light continues down here where I've had it before. Lots of light color down here. Just trying to break up the surface a little bit. And while we've got that light color, there is also lots of it here, and it's vary the stroke a little bit, see if we can suggest the different sorts. These are herbs rather than branches, so they'll have a different sort of feel to the direction of the brush stroke and the type of brush stroke. So vary your brush stroke to achieve what you want. I think I could even add a bit more white to that. Let's see if I can pull up the oops, some brown in there somewhere. You get the effect of the rushes, if you like. They come right down here, so that's quite a solid. And then down. That's a bit thick, but it can be painted over. It's not a serious matter. We've got just that thin, going to break it up a bit. There's just that thin line on the waterline there. It just suggests the bushes a little bit. Right, now I want to make that green a bit darker. So I'm going to add some sap green to it to see if I can calm it down a bit. And see what I get there. Well, that's very similar to what's underneath, which is no hardship. There are areas within this where you get leaves a bit in shadow. And of course, underneath here, they will also be in shadow. I think I need to make that even darker. So I'm going to add a bit of blue this time. No, that's not blue. I made that mistake before. That's purple. I've got a huge pot of blue here. One of the ways you buy paint is a bit strange sometimes. So I'm going to add a bit of blue to that. See if I can make it darker without changing the color mix, if at all possible. I don't want to go to that sort of green. This is dark, but it's a darkness that is near the light. There is a bit of dark over here. I want to suggest the reeds over here in a little bit of shadow. That works quite nicely there. Right, I think we're doing okay here. Bring it down here. I think I'm going to add a bit of brown to that as well. I know I say don't put too many colours in, but you can be seduced into adding other colours sometimes. Right, okay. There needs to be a bit of definition around there. Seems to be quite a strong dark area. Not quite sure what it is. I think it's just shadow. I think this bank is in shadow because the light is coming this way. And this area around here is much darker. So I've got to find a dark there. But I don't want a bright dark. I want a fairly dull dark. So we have here quite a dark area. And it comes down here as well, under the tree. And throws the tree into shadow. I haven't got these trees the right color as yet. So fighting in the dark here a little bit. Sorry for the pun. Not intended. Right. This comes down here, echoing the line of the bank. If you look at the picture, that line there echoes the angle of the bank. So that's obviously got to go in there. Oh, there's the bloke. He's got to go in at some stage. Then we've got a bit more there, which is part of the bank as we come along. Now let's see what we can do. Again, we need to think in terms of a light color for the trunks of the tree. We've got one trunk which comes like that there. And then this one comes more like that. Like that. And then there's a little one there. And that is a better representation of where they are. So I have to take out, using my dark green, some of this right. Now, if we have that dark there, it's got to be shown here as well. And it leaves a little of the trunks to be shown through. And then we've got quite a dark patch under the bank here. Which is further along here as well. Right, okay. And it comes around the fella too. Right. Just want to get this area right if I can, because then I can put the fella in. think if I put a brown patch in here, sort of set the scene a little bit. Yeah, well, could do with being a little bit darker. That I like to put purple into brown, so I'll do that. And then it goes there. Right. Don't like that. Not saying the right things. I'm not even sure it's the right color. Right, okay. I'm going to change brushes and see if I can achieve what I want with a more pliable brush. This one is more like a watercolor brush. I think it might just point up this a little bit more clearly. And then if I pick up the darker color, some of the light, and put in the rest of the trunk. It's not working, is it? Why isn't it working? Well, I don't like them, whatever they are. So the thing to do is to get rid of them, isn't it? Right, so I'm going to put the dark in first. Let it dry and come back and put the light in afterwards. Now, this is quite dark, really dark down here. And it does interfere with these a little bit. And it goes up there a little bit. And it's really dark here. That patch of light isn't there, is it? Right. I think that patch of light is actually green. If I change that for green, does that make life easier? Does that make it better? Does that make it more believable? Marginally. Some part of a picture that gives you a fight. And it can be quite frustrating at times. I'm going to make some more green using cerulean and lemon. And I'm going to add a mere smear of red to it to kill it off a bit. And see what I can do. Yeah. There is here yet another cut water just here. So if I put that in without making too much of it, comes quite a way down. I'll get a darker color. A bit swimmy. Life is hard. I think that's working a bit better. It's working a lot better. 10 minutes, right, okay. Okay. So if we let some of the brown in there as well. Take some of that green here. A bit more white in that. Some of that really white down here. So the eye follows that. Right. And some of that would really catch it up here, wouldn't it? Just we have a sprinkling of. It's still a pretty stumpy thing. All right, press on regardless. Let's see what we can do. I wanted to get him put in today. I don't think I'm going to. The time is too against me. Right, supposing we go through the bridge and put some of the light on the bank here. That has to. Of course, the other thing I haven't done is put the arch in. So if I get some blue and add some brown to that, should get nice dark. Right, so you need a good point for this. That needs to push up a bit more. I think that's probably better. Right. And I think that's a bit more satisfactory. This comes down more here. Oh, that's working better. I'm a little bit happier with that. Not happy with this. It's like a cotton ball on a stick. And I'm always telling people off when they do that. The frustrating thing is I am looking at the picture, manifestly not seeing what I should see. Just sad life. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but I'm going to have to do something about it. But you can see how little you need to do, in actual fact, to make something work that was a bit sad before. So that needs to lift up there. This comes around much higher. Where's the dark? Right. Because in fact, that distance there is the same as that distance there. So that's got to come to there. And that is not curving enough. So there we are. Now that's a horrible straight line. Don't like that straight line at all, but at least it's more or less in the right place, I think. So this has to drop more down here with the light. Where's my light? This actually drops down here more. It's the wrong color, but it's the right place, I think. Right. Okay. think I better stop there because I'm fiddling instead of looking. But I'm a bit happier now about this here, less happy about that. But presumably I can break it up a bit more and get a color that makes me happy a bit more. After another week of looking at it on the sideboard all the time, which is what helps. This is, of course, not directly underneath that anymore. That's not something that is going to grieve me very much. Okay, I'll leave it at that for the time being. I don't think it hurts to see me struggling. I hope it, in fact, helps you to see that, you know, it doesn't always fall off the brush. And I'll see you all again next week.